that. It wasn't like that big of a pot. Like,
And it looks like Ishida is picking 2 red 6s to jam with. Let's see how she fares. So far, so good. And uh-oh. 2 9s for Mr. Trost. And on the button, he also moves all in for his last 106,000.
Inclined to agree, Ali. Seems like a reasonable reach. He has the hearts working in the 7
Way
stays.
too many dangerous turns.
There's some possibilities.
9 high board, obviously less than ideal, given that Trost has top set.
Hey,
look at that.
They ripped the turn in the river off with no mercy as Trost ends up with quads and a very gracious Yuri Ishida will collect her belongings.
An ace-king, 8-6 suited, all in here. 44,000 out there, so it's a small one. Not for this gentleman who's all in, of course.
No doubt about it. It is Kenny Karam.
Declared. Let's see. Okay, action flop.
The ace-king who is all in.
Oh, gotcha. My bad.
Jimmy D with 8-6 suited. Gave him the spin.
What a build.
Flops the hard draw.
What?
Just on red.
I did.
Oh my.
Look at this turn.
Action can that be?
Now it's trip kings versus the flush, but Karam has a redraw not just to the full house, but a better flush.
Harder board pair for them. Jack, queen.
Took a garden hose to this board here on the turn. Note, Ambrosio has the best hand right now. Karam needs help for his tournament life, and he gets it. 2 running hearts.
Is that 20 or 19?
I think it's 19.
Somebody's rigging the deck.
Actually, some poker to be played over here at our secondary feature table. Got a pot brewing here, Nick, as
Indeed we do, Ali.
Feldman and Jimmy D got themselves in a top pair versus flush draw kind of spot.
Look at Apicella, by the way, Ali.
Betting a call of 40,000?
See that deuce 3, 4, 5, 6 action, though, don't you?
Yeah, the 6 high straight. Now, Min raising it up to 80,000. Let me bring you up to speed here. It was Huey who opened the pot to 8,000. Feldman flatted along with D'Ambrosio, Yuen, and Apicella. So a 5-way flop. 3 checks in front of Feldman, who understandably fired with top pair. Jimmy D flatted the flush draw, and then, of course, Apicella stuck in there with the open ender. Here we are on the turn. Apicella checking and raising the 40 bet and call. Both players sticking and neither improving as the 4 of diamonds pairs the board. Perhaps an occasional amount of concern for Apicella, just given that full houses are now possible.
You have to be concerned, but it's still such a huge hand. I mean, here we are. And Feldman's continue on the turn. It's a bit, we might be drawing dead, but we still do have top pair. The Jimmy D factor, it's understandable, but it's a little bit uncomfortable. He's trying to figure it out, Ali.
125,000 back for Feldman, and he's facing a bet of 100,000, Nick. So this really is for almost all of it. And just how often is King Queen good against Apicella check raising the whole field? Oh my. Ryan has made this call. He's going to have just 25,000 behind. Obviously, the busted spades go into the muck, and you can see the disappointment on Ryan Feldman's face.
He sees the bad news, Ali. Off to dinner with 6 bigs. Possible spins, you know. Have a nice meal, possible spins, but
I don't know how nice that meal's going to be now. And look at this. Apicella has this ace-jack in jail. The man who took most of it, looking to finish the job that he started.
he's got the backpack going.
Can you blame him?
I mean, the early you know, it's, yeah, I get it. Might win. 22%, Ollie.
No. 5 to come.
Doesn't feel like he thinks there's a chance, though. I get it. He ran into the 3-6. Here we are. 8-8-6. Has some chop outs.
Yeah.
He's shaking his head. I mean, he's just, you know, he was here to win this thing.
He's still stewing about that pot.
But he'll be back to those, you know, those goofy games out in L.A. with all these.
Sure.
You know what I mean? He'll be all right.
It's different.
Got that Rolodex
The
going.
dream of the main.
You know, schmoozing with people. Come on down and play. He's got it all going out there. So there it is. Good game, sir. You know,
What he no longer has going is
back to Cali. I mean,
hopes of winning the main.
you
One
need to
does-
offsuit, Cliff. Okay.
I do know.
Welcome,
He's
sir.
got the white puck.
By the way, Cliff with 1.2. I didn't even realize. You know,
Josie, right?
it's moving day a bit around here. I mean,
Yeah,
people are
I
coming around with stacks.
Just don't know him personally.
That's
Mr.
a
K
solid-
defends.
No, you do.
Ace 10 off.
Sure.
Not-
Enough hand.
we're not on the same
Apicella
basis
displaced,
as
by the
me,
way,
do
as the
we?
chip leader.
Oh, we've got some history.
Yeah,
Right, Josephy.
I didn't realize Cliff brought quite so much power
Or,
to the secondary feature here.
Acquainted.
Like kissing cousins at this point.
Mr. K going to lead right out. Look for some definition.
A little bit unconventional, but definition indeed.
Wow, and you want to talk about unconventional. How about Josephy's decision to pop it, which oftentimes we presume if we were up against that strong a hand, why would it decide to lead into us? And so this really just a function of that basic principle is Josephy with 8 high backdoor wheel runners a possibility. Makes it 3x. And note the challenging position this puts Mr. K in with the ace-10. We can call the 22, but we've got to assume that almost regardless of what hits the turn, we'll be facing another bet even greater in size. And how do we feel about ace-10 then, especially with no club?
I agree with all of this, Ali. Well said, and it does get through, so
Abusive.
nice from Cliff here. You know, an odd sort of realm of poker. Open defend, button BB, lead out straight away on ace queen 3. I suppose you have to be careful for all of the reasons Ali just mentioned. Very nice, sir.
Thank you.
Oh, look at this. So hands abound. I mean,
Whoa. The rich part of the deck is embroiled here as ace-king suited and 2 aces, both involved in this hand. Cliff Josephy open to 11,000. Mr. K flatted. He is now out of there. Lamonque, the newcomer, 3-bet to 43K. Josephy mashed it in there, asking for it all. And Ryan Lamonque makes the call. And this is for his day 3 life. 10-7-5. So far, so good for the aces. You see Josephy noting that there are some back doors available. Clubs, Broadway. And the turn does bring the Broadway gutty. So now 4 jacks need to be faded by these 2 aces in an almost $500,000 chip pot. Tense moments for Ryan Lamonque. And he can exhale, as aces will not be his demise here on day 3.
ace king suited for Peter. What is that, like a spa?
The offsuit
Bathhouse?
sixes when you're big money
Bathhouse,
maker.
communal kind of thing.
All right.
It's kind
got
of
7-6
a
against me.
full-service scrub down, you know?
My one bluff of the day.
Communal use. A full service scrub down.
Well, not full service, but
I mean, when you put it like that,
Right.
I don't think I'm the only one who. 9s here for Trost, 30 bigs.
like I wasn't scrubbed to completion, if that's what you're inquiring about.
Yeah, okay. So,
But
how
it was
was
amazing. It was in
Well,
this
they're
very
they're very
historic,
famous for their spas.
right,
Nice.
warm marble,
Did they beat you with the lead?
lathered me down, and then
Yeah.
really a nice exfoliation there.
That sounds amazing.
A good, you know,
We have the 3-bet here. It likely will be going in. I can't imagine
Why, thank
Trost
you.
is 3-betting to fold.
highly
Put a pin in
recommended.
that for a moment. Understood. Ali.
When Peters came to sit down at the table, I was like, hey, look to the table, Joe. You're sitting at the wrong place. Like,
How's Peters going to react?
I think it's all going in the next 8 to 20 seconds.
117 behind for Trost, obviously. Peters can more than afford to ask for all of it in case he's wrong.
All in.
It'll be fine, and as prophesized by Nick, and it goes, and now for
Always gonna be the
Trost,
spot, right? I could have just flatted.
lamenting his choice here to 3-bet perhaps. And really, the range we would expect out of Peters here is all of the bigger pairs, maybe not all of them, but
Well, it does go
the
in.
bigger pairs.
That's
and
right, Ali.
Trost, kind of a best case scenario to be up against these 2 overs.
I think so, yeah.
And as you can see, he is just a nominal favorite. 6% for his tournament life in a 307,000 chip pot.
Peter's AKS.
And King, Queen, Jack is bad news for Trost. The 10 would give Peters the bigger straight. Kings out in front. And it is beginning to dawn on Mr. Trost that perhaps his run here at the main event is coming to an end, barring one of 2 remaining 9s in the deck. And instead, it's a 6. And the 37-year-old from Madison, Wisconsin will not get his 9th ever World Series of Poker cash.
Good game, pal. Couple days on the feature. At least go 3 is a jammable kind of hand. And if he does, he will see the bad news.
And yeah, that is the class of hands he did not want to be up against. Snap call from Correa, who has claimed 1 pelt just moments ago. Might he be going for a second?
I mean, we can do it maybe.
I've seen it before.
You can try.
Oh, well, hello.
Seen it again.
Oh, lucky, yeah.
A little dose of red crab on the flop, giving Jedlička bottom set.
10 or jack for a sweat.
That's fair.
Be seated, young man.
Yeah, that's,
Or not.
that's exactly.
Jack on the turn does add 4 outs
That was guaranteed.
to Correa's prospects. So we got a fade 6. 152 in the middle and the 10. What a nasty roller coaster ride that is. Flop the set, runner, lose to the king high straight.
Wow.
Certainly 3s are supposed to lose to queens in the long run. Jimmy D with ace king suited in the big. Well out in front of an ace 6 suited here in this 123K pot. Flop will bring it into focus. The diamond's a bad start.
Okay, wow, he does have the king, you know, but here we are.
Nut flush draw and a pair for Meyer.
Black.
D'Ambrosia. Top pair currently in front. Can he hold on the turn? Oh, wow. The ugly way. A 6 of spades. Now lives Jimmy D
Playing with everybody.
Hold on.
in need of a king. And look at Meyer like, hey, no fist bumps until it's over, buddy. Relax. Is there a cowboy?
Anyone fold a king?
No.
Good playing with everybody. Nice
Playing with you, Jimmy.
Take care,
Jimmy
guys.
D
Take care. Likewise.
around the fist bumps.
Good
You
game,
have me
sir.
covered, right?
He will be missed.
Enjoyable sweats, the Jimmy D sweats,
Oh,
but
yeah.
Pleasure playing, Jimmy.
it's over. Little outer table action, it appears. Here we go. Oh, Mr. K all in with kings against ace queen. Good flop for him. See if he
Apropos.
can hold 135 out there.
Josephy with the
Very
ace queen.
close to the money bubble, so of course this is massive.
This one came down with an Apicella open to 13,000. Josephy flatted. Mr. K moved all in. And both Apicella and Josephy appear to have called.
Very nice.
What I'm seeing here, although I don't spot Apicella's holding. And that would be because on the flop, Apicella check folded to the 50K side pot bet from Josephy, and the rest of the way it was heads up. The 2
Where's
kings
Lana?
hold.
At home?
Oh, he's at home.
Yeah.
10s for Huey, 6-7 suited for Apicella, queen of clubs Jack for our, and top 2 for Josephy, Ali, with the back door to boot.
Pre-flop razor was Apicella to 14,000 out of the hijack. Huey flatted the button. Both blinds came along. And you see the c-bet of 30,000 flatted by the 2 10s. And now Josephy will flat as well.
Kind of like this choice from Cliff with the back door. Perhaps allow some of the inferior back doors to catch up. Perhaps a 7 or a 6 peels off, and we have Apicella in absolute jail. And a lot of his range wants to go for call. This seems quite nice from Cliff. I like this choice. And again, we have our kind of you know, just mindful of the bubble situation. It is what it is a little bit. Big turn coming.
That turn is the king of spades, so suddenly the nut flush draw is added to Josephy's arsenal. Apicella's got a good idea that these sevens are probably in bad shape. He will pump the brakes. And now Hui with the 2 10s. Gotta keep an eye on the ace-X. Talk to me about this bet from Loni on the button with the 2 10s.
This is a little bit interesting. I think she's just sort of leveraging the stacks more than the hands, if you will. But obviously, as we can see, Cliff with just such a comfortable one. In all likelihood, we'll go for call again. Rails get rowdy, Ali. The rail's wasted out there, you know?
Are they?
Probably. I mean, it's late. We're in Vegas. It's day 3.
Josephy choosing to flat, Nick, as opposed to get more chips into this pot right now.
Seems like a nice choice, Ali. Perhaps Loni goes for a bluff on a spade. Perhaps she's drawing close to dead, and his hand is so good, yet... Oh, look at this. Really?
No way. No way.
Oh, man. Apicella.
Could be posturing, but this is a man who does feel like he is ready to make moves.
He does kind of have a sort of thematic bluffing kind of hand, that bottom pair, third pair, blocking some 2 pairs, blocking sets, but on the 2-tone black board, the red 6-7 here, close to the money, covered by the button, and very close with Josephy. This would be... He's shuffling that 300 though, Ali.
What is he trying to rep?
Something like 7-7, you know, kind of card matching. He's out of there. Fair enough, sir. Thought it through. Obviously has some get up and go in him. Josephy said, don't scare me. Let's see. This river could go a few different directions.
Note the Josephy statement, don't scare me. Not lost on Loni.
Interesting. There is a chance
Backdoor
Loni
nut
turns these
flush.
10s into a bluff. Of course, the 10 of spades, very key. No, she's kind of staring at Cliff.
By the way, Cliff could very well check this.
Of course.
Try to induce.
Check would be quite standard.
Oh my.
Loni might very well just check, though. Showdown the 10s. They do have showdown value.
And remember, we are close to the money right now. This is the main. She's got no shortage of heart. We know that unlike perhaps the average person just looking to cash.
Does look like she's reaching, though, Ali. I mean, it just kind of has that feel. She is reaching.
Oh, look at Josephy. Eyeballing. Chips he knows will be all his.
Well, perhaps Loni's decision to bet turn was
75,000.
Where's the 575,000?
a bit regrettable in hindsight. Of course, an unfortunate run out for her. She snap out, still has a bunch, and the show goes on. Ali?
Yeah, and still has a bunch is a key point to make. Out of position against both with these 2 kings, and this is a problem. 8-6-5, top set for Apicella, who's got him well covered.
You want to say what he had?
It's all good.
So funny.
Has him well covered and just showed the 3-bet with the 8-4 suited, which might make getting away for hour an even taller proposition.
Huh?
I just 7.
A red 7?
Starts things off with a
Yeah, a
check.
black 7.
Red 7.
Yeah, doesn't really love the texture, I suppose, especially with a guy like Apicella, who will play a broad variety of hands, including here at this
A lot of red
moment
7s in the deck.
on the button. And I think he kind of could have predicted that with a couple of checks in front of him, Apicella would be inclined to probe.
trying to catch
So
up.
perhaps outsourcing his bidding a little bit. Third pot, not going to be enough to put these kings into the mug.
Previously.
I do like the pace
When I turned equity with the ace of hearts.
with which Apicella deposited that 20 into the pot. Something of a snap bet, a little bit deceptive, you know what I mean?
Right,
Lee?
right. Just looks like, oh, 2 checks in front of me. I'm on the button. Here we go. Here's third pot auto.
Exactly. Well, that's a tough card for
It
him
is.
there.
It is, because now the 8-6 is no longer beating him.
All likelihood this street goes check call and river is
TBD.
Got 40 minutes.
That's right,
to do
Ollie.
Yesterday's Wordle. Wordle, Quirtle, Octortle. And I was busy last night.
the Milky Way, Ollie.
Play cash.
The snap bet on the flop,
That's
this
amazing.
30. I like Howard's navigations thus far a lot. See if maybe he can get saved by a straight card that would dissuade him putting chips in. Thought that was a king. Feel
Well,
for this close to the money.
We're going to find out just how brutal it is, because that's going to hinge on how much Apicella asks for. Is he asking for all of it?
I think that's 175. Leave him with a little.
How much is that?
Maybe it is the 2.
No, yeah, it's the
Yeah,
200.
just put him in.
I'm gonna need a couple more moments. I apologize.
You're good, dude.
Yeah, you're
Don't worry about it.
Big spot.
Anytime.
Yeah, everybody all too happy to let him take his time at this phase.
I bet 175 so you can still make the money.
Excuse me?
I bet 175 so you can still make the money.
Ooh.
That's true. I noticed that.
We'll call the clock.
Okay, Apicella puts him on the clock now.
Almost 8 minutes in this tank.
It's one of those spots, though.
So the call is made and the news is bad for Matthias Auer. The only silver lining being the fact that he's left with 18,000.
Let's turn him over, guys. Let's see
All
what you
right,
got.
Jack Effel has worked his way to the first of 5 all-in and calls, apparently. The room
And
buzzing,
the 5 of hearts and
given
the 4
the
diamonds.
increased opportunity to
Say, what killed
burst the
Jesse
bubble.
James, Chuck? A 45. All right, here he goes.
Connected, has the straight draw. Wheel draw over here for the 9 seat. I'm rooting for him. He's got the wheel draw.
Flop is
That's
queen
not
of
the
spades,
one.
8
No,
of diamonds,
no.
king of spades.
Nice.
Nines
He's
are
got the
good.
8-7-6 work.
Could leave the
Really
4-5
not.
drawn dead here on the
Jack
turn,
is out.
and they do.
Good game, sir.
We've got an
7 on the
elimination.
river.
This is a cold game we
At
play.
least one elimination here.
And nothing worse than just how excited everyone is at your demise here. This is the worst spot to be in.
We have a flop, 8 of diamonds, jack of diamonds, queen of spades, and he's all in over here. All right. Looks like queens and jacks versus queen 5 of diamonds. There's 2 diamonds on the board.
Oh boy, flush draw.
The diamond,
Oh, the diamond
on
does
the
come
turn.
in, Ollie.
And a diamond on the river. So a flush is going to eliminate another player.
Bubble has burst, Nick.
Henson
All right, you got
Philman.
pocket kings versus ace 7 of diamonds.
All right. The youngins fading the ace. What is this kid, 15? I mean, what's going on
You
here?
might have to card.
Look at this guy. Oh, that's a bad first card. It's the diamond. Okay. The
Jack of clubs.
Ace has been faded.
early fist bump, but then a settle down. Fair enough. Okay, queen, fading the
Ten of
ace.
hearts on the turn. Let's see the river. We're not going to make him sweat.
And he does double, yes. Yes, sir. There it is. I mean, all right.
6, 7 of diamonds versus the all-in player with king of hearts, tray of spades. Is that Mr. Tom McCormick? King! 4, 4, 8. King high is good.
Did the
on
5
turn
roll
to
off
make
for a
straight.
gutter?
Leave it
4, 5,
did.
6, 7, 8. He eliminates Tom McCormick, who is going to be eliminated here. So we do have another elimination, ladies and gentlemen.
Sweet relief for so many who have worked hard through these 3 days to be one of the remaining 1,299 players. $15,000, the current payout. It'll be that way for a while, but it will drop like flies when play resumes tomorrow as we hunt the winner of this year's main event somewhere in the room. Broken dreams, but many hopefuls remain. Certainly appreciate you joining us for tonight's coverage. We resume tomorrow at noon Pacific, but in the meantime, on behalf of our entire crew here in Las Vegas and my partner Nick Schulman, this is Ali Najad saying so long and hasta mañana.